time for another episode of Engines of SEPTA. This was way too long, especially considering I was busy with the documentaries, but I think it's time for another Engines of SEPTA. Today we'll be talking about the ABB N5 cars. Without further ado, let's get started. Ah yes, the ABB N5 cars. What a pile of freaking crap they are. Why, you may ask? Let me explain. In the 1990s, SEPTA knew the Norristown high-speed line was in desperate need of an upgrade, including replacing their antique 1930s J.G. Brill bullet cars. So SEPTA offered a contract to ASEA Brown Boveri, better known as ABB Traction, to build new cars for the high-speed line. Prototype car number 451 was first built in 1991, but unfortunately things wouldn't go according to plan. The 451 was not passing certain tests needed, delaying production and delivery of the N5s. So even before they were delivered, they already had problems. And when you're a locomotive manufacturer trying to sell off your product to a company, that ain't good. This kept the bullets in service for another 2 years despite a lack of spare parts and failing reliability. So SEPTA had to lease these former 6000 series CTA L cars from Chicago. Also, 5 Market Frankfurt M3 cars were assigned to the Norristown high-speed line, with a 6-1 for spare parts, to keep local service going as well. Talk about a mess. Eventually, in 1993, tests were completed, and 451, now renumbered to 130, was delivered in 1993 and 1994, along with her sisters 131 through 155. SEPTA, of course, was pissed about the cars being late and sued ABB Traction for punitive damages. But the case was resolved, and ABB gave SEPTA a certain regional rail locomotive that I think we all know. The N5s started off with traditional destination boards, much like the ones seen on the Broad Street line, but were later replaced by LED panels as of today. These cars are also equipped with a rather unique horn, sporting a new cast P3 on each end under the nose. Here's some samples. Now, why would a well-behaved rail fan call these cars piles of crap? I mean, their acceleration isn't bad, the horns sound pretty amazing and loud, and they also seem easy to operate, sporting the same controls as most trolleys. Hold on, why is there a pantograph switch when this engine has no pans? Well, let me explain why I think these cars are crap. Number 1, you see that AC unit on top? Yeah, that makes the cars rather top-heavy, which makes the car tend to sway side to side, usually on switches and curves, which makes for quite an uncomfortable ride. And considering how large these cars are, in fact the largest the NHSL ever saw, that doesn't help. At least track conditions aren't that bad. Otherwise, my mom's boyfriend wouldn't have been doing his job. Speaking of ride quality, remember back in the bullet episode, I talked about how smooth the bullets are and how one bullet driver once said you could fill a full glass of red wine in a martini glass and that thing won't spill a drop throughout the whole ride. Well, if you were to do that at an N5, you would spill more than just a drop. And you might have quite the mess to clean up. Number 2. These cars are quite unreliable at times, needing a lot of care when it comes to maintenance work. And number 3, these cars have slowed service down. What do I mean? On August 22nd, 2017, an N5 car left Norristown Transportation Center on its way to 69th Street Station. During the journey, operator noticed the car was having brake troubles along the way. Some stops had the car overshoot the platform and have to back up into the station. Not far from Township Line Road, however, the brakes died completely, and one passenger even asked, "Why are we going so fast?" as the engineer was desperately trying to get the brakes to respond, but it was already too late. The car rear-ended an empty, parked N5 car on the platform, injuring 33 people, but thankfully no one was killed. While the cause is still under investigation by the NTSB, it was because of this accident that Norristown high-speed line operations had to be lowered from 75 miles an hour to 50 miles an hour, not much faster than the average speed regional rail trains go. And that's why people like me now call the Norristown high-speed line the Norristown slow speed line, or the low speed line if you want to be proper or whatever. In fact, some SEPTA employees, like my mom's boyfriend, even say that these cars would be lucky if they ever saw another 3 years of service. Even the N5 Maniac, a well-known operator of the Norristown high-speed line, was pissed hearing about the speed reduction, and is now mainly on trolley routes, and personally, I don't blame him. Regardless, whether you like or hate these cars, they still get the job done, taking me from Norristown to Bryn Mawr when I go rail fanning the Keystone Corridor, and these cars certainly have a spot in the history of the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority, serving SEPTA since 1964. Thank you for watching. I'll progress further in the history of SEPTA when we discuss a fan favorite. The N5s are coming next. Stay tuned, and until next time, all aboard!